Good afternoon, Nigerians. You're welcome to another edition of Editors Forum on Galaxy Television. I am Layo Shobo Folorunsho. A very warm afternoon to you. As you know, on the program, we will be looking at issues on the front burner during the week and getting, professionals in the journalism field and public affairs spectrum to talk about it. But before we go into the topic of the day, I'll just quickly run you through some of the events and happenings over the week. And on Monday, President Bola Tinubu directed the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission to review its recommendation on remuneration of judicial officers to reflect the present, economic situation in the country. And the president said that in Abuja at the opening ceremony of the All Nigerian Judges Conference of the Superior Court. And also on Monday, INEC began announcing the winners of the off-cycle elections that held on Saturday, November 11, starting with Usman Ododo in Kogi State, winning with 446,237 votes, defeating his closest rival, Ajaka of SDP, and then Dino Milaye of the People's Democratic Party. Also on Monday, INEC announced Senator Doye Diri, the winner of the election also, and he won with 175,196 votes to defeat the candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Timothy Silva, who got 110,108 votes, and the Labour Party candidate, coming a distant third with 905 votes. All right, and on Tuesday, we say Monday midnight rather, the Nigeria Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress announced a nationwide strike, a literal total shutdown of the Nigerian workspace to, protest the alleged brutalization of the NLC president, Joe Ajaero, by the Nigerian police. Although the Nigerian police have come out to say we didn't do that, they only took Ajaero into protective custody. But the NLC insists that he was brutalized by, the police, and that led to the call for nationwide strike, as seen on Tuesday. And going up forward to Friday, the former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, was remanded in Kuje prison until November 22, when trial into his case with the federal government will begin. These and more are the things that happened during the week. Well, before, after that rundown, I will be linking you us to the topic for the day. So first of all, let me introduce my guest, and then we'll delve into the conversation. I have with me in the studio Mr. Lekon Shote. He is the Vice President, Guild of Public Affairs Analyst, GPAN, and he is a public affairs analyst at that. Thank you so much for being here in the studio with me, sir.
Thank you for having me.
It's really a pleasure having you again. I really enjoyed our conversation the last time, and I look forward to an amazing one today.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, and I also have another guest that will be joining us via Zoom, and that is Mr. Emeka Maduagu. He's the editor of Metro Express. He'll be joining us shortly. He should be on now, but he should be joining us shortly. So let's delve straight to it. First of all, the off-cycle elections are held on Saturday last week. Basically, that was what we did on the program. All right, I have Mr. Maduagu on standby. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us.
You mean Maduagu?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, good afternoon.
All
Good
right.
afternoon, everybody.
Okay, so starting with Mr. Shote, and based on the off-cycle elections, basically that was what we did on the program on Saturday last week, bringing live updates and analysis. But so that same Saturday, the former president of Nigeria, that is Goodluck Jonathan, was calling for an end to off-cycle elections in Nigeria. According to him, it is odd and not of the best global practice. And he was saying it will get to a point that eventually presidential elections in Nigeria will have to now be done off-season too. What do you think about that? The overall idea of off-cycle elections in Nigeria?
Well, I think it's looking more at the symptom than the problem. As far as I'm concerned, two groups are responsible for what we are doing here. That's INEC itself. As a matter of fact, I think INEC should always, I think I said it the last time I project that if election is rigged, to that extent, it has to do with the incompetence or connivance of the INEC. And so, how do we ensure that INEC does its job very, very well? And then, of course, ensuring also that elections are conducted in such a way that you should be able to conclude all the legal issues before the swearing in of the. Those are the kind of things I thought he would be addressing that. It's not enough to just say, somebody who is elected has to spend 48 months as a governor or president, or legislator. That's just otherwise, are you going to extend some people's tenure, or are you going to reduce some people? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So assuming the Supreme Court awarded maybe Vice President, former Vice President Atiku as the winner of the February 2023 election, presidential election, are we going to say the last so many months of that President Tinubu has been in office will now be deducted from the tenure of the income? I don't get the. I read it, and I don't think I agree with it. So fortunate that that's the way we are running our system. And then we have, if you check the American system, everybody, each state does its election the way they like, and I don't think anything is wrong with the American system by doing that. We don't have presidential election and the same
gubernatorial election.
Yeah, even members of the Congress in America, there are about 3 batches, if you like. Every 2 years, some states will have the election. The next 2 years, another set of states will have the election. And then that 2 years, and then it keeps rolling like that. So I don't really see the point the president is making. I'm not convinced that he has a point.
Okay, let me go to Mr. Madunagu now. So, do you agree with Mr. Shote on this one? And let's also look at the cost that this puts the nation into. Another debate in some quarters is that off-cycle elections take so much money. I mean, it adds an additional expense, yes, to the money that's it's being expended on elections in Nigeria, and some people believe it eats deep into Nigerian finance. What do you think about that, Mr. Madunagu?
Shote said. Hello.
Oh, are you still with me? Okay. Okay, he is with me now. So did you get my question, Mr. Madunagu? I was asking if you agree with Mr. Shote on the fact that former President Goodluck Jonathan, on his call for an end to off-cycle elections in Nigeria, that it is not so ideal, and then looking at the costing, additional cost on Nigeria. Okay, if I do not have him, then I guess I'll have you answer the. Okay. Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I didn't quite get what Mr. Shote said, but honestly, the call by the former president is.
Oh, his audio is, I guess the network is very bad.
Off-cycle elections. These are avoidable.
Oh, well, I'll have to come back to you again, Mr. Madunagu. Can you hear me now? Mr. Madunagu, can you hear me?
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you
Yes,
now, but I
yes.
think we have an issue. Okay, great. So please go ahead.
Yes, yes. I said all these things boil down to the antics of desperate politicians who, who have time and again subverted the political process such that we have unfortunately found ourselves having to have staggered elections. Yes, staggered elections are not a bad thing in themselves because it enables the electoral umpire to plan effectively, and also for the
Oh, apologies. The network is so bad. Then he was talking about politicians actually that he was probably putting the blame on them. But let me know what you think about that, sir.
Well, okay.
Okay, Mr. Martinago, you know what we'll do. I'll have to come back to you. I'll have to come back to you later. I think the network is not so good, so I think I'll have to come back to you on that. Okay, please, sir.
Yeah, well, as I said, I don't even worry. My major issue, what I had always been thinking about is why must INEC be conducting state elections, for example? Why can't each state have its own INEC, if you like, and then we conduct our election? Why must Abuja be the one that will conduct election in Bayelsa State, in Borno State, in Ogun State? Why can't we have our state INEC? Indeed, practically every state has its own INEC, state electoral commission anyway. So why can't we just?
Please go ahead.
Yeah. So why can't we allow? Why can't we?
You can remove it if you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why can't we just amend our electoral act so that the federal government, INEC, will conduct federal elections to the presidency and to the Congress and the National Assembly, and then each state conducts its own election. Why must it be centralized?
Well, looking at Nigeria, take security, police, for instance, people have been calling for state police for a long time, and it's still not coming forth. So don't you think that is still going to be a very long thing, as that cliche is, to have INEC decentralized that way in states?
I'm not talking about INEC decentralized. I'm saying that INEC should just face federal elections.
Presidential elections.
Yes. And
the National Assembly.
Yes, and then let each state have its own. In any case, all the states have their own state electoral commission. They have it. All the states have. But they go and conduct local government elections instead of conducting the state House of Assemblies and the governorship election. I think something is wrong with our system. We over-centralize too many things. And that is part of the problem that we are having in this country. Why can't we just simply decide that this is a federation, this is not a military country. We are running, well, at least we say it is federalism. So why are we now running the country as
why you say we say it is? Is that not what we have?
Well, this kind of over-centralization, for example, gives me the impression that we are not quite.
Okay, we'll have to cut that here. We'll be going on a commercial break, and when we return, the conversation continues. Do stay with us.